inexorably heading towards a death toll of over 100,000 people. Like, it's just awful. But how can this happen in the world's richest nation, in the country that put men on the moon? Ed Blakely, former US Department appointee, before we go into the how and why, can you explain just how bad the situation is in America?
Yes, the situation is very bad, particularly in New York and along the East Coast. The United States just was not prepared. The president made it sound like a joke, a flu that get over in a week. The United States had all the resources necessary to combat it. And of course, none of those things were true. But what's even worse...
Straight out there, mate. Is this a failure of American leadership?
It's a failure of leadership, not just with the president, but across the top, with the exception of a couple of governors. The United States has actually been so lucky for so long, much like Australia, that they've forgotten how to get it together and how to fight properly. So they've allowed much of their infrastructure to decay. They've pushed some over the side. They privatized some pieces, and those pieces just were not ready when something quick happened. Had this been a delayed response? Maybe. But now it's over, and the United States is underprepared and not able to combat this.
Saying that many United States governors are underperforming too?
Yes, I am. I'm taking Cuomo out, the governor of California, and a couple of the other governors. But you have to think about it this way. As the federal government gets stronger, states actually get weaker. That's true in Australia, it's true everywhere. Yeah. And in the United States, the states became increasingly dependent on what the federal government would do. And when it collapsed, everything collapsed.
I'm talking with Ed Blakely, former US State Department appointee. Ed, what about all these people protesting? They're sick of restrictions. Is this the norm, or are the protesters just a fringe group?
No, they're not a fringe group, but they're a very small minority. They're under 10% of the people in the country. Most people understand how bad this is. When you reach almost 100,000 people dead, everybody knows somebody who was very, very sick. Because remember, only 2 out of 10 people die. And so the other 8 people know somebody, and I know someone that died.
So do you worry things are going to get a lot worse for America before they get better?
Well, what's going to be better? That is really the question. Is it going to be better because they changed the president? Is it going to be better if some of the infrastructure changes? No. The United States needs its own Marshall Plan to recover the entire country and to straighten out the entire economy. The U.S. has become far too dependent on goods coming to it that are staples and having no infrastructure to produce its own goods. That's got to change. I think the next move will be a U.S. Marshall Plan, rebuilding the U.S. the way Germany and France were rebuilt after the war.
Is there a will for that in America?
Yes. There's a will, there's a way, and I think there's some elements of leadership to do all that. This leadership is waiting in the wings. There are people that we all know, like Kamala Harris and others, who would be on the way to helping. But there's a deep set of bureaucrats and administrators in the United States, some of whom I know, who are ready to step up and serve, and they'll give it their best. And they have the know-how. As you can see what they did, putting up hospitals and things around the country.
So are you optimistic, mate?
In the long run, yes, but pessimistic for the short run.
God bless you, Ed. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. Let's hope we meet in better times.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. You there?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'll get on to you during the weekend if that's all right.
Please do. I'm ready. Bye.
Bye. Little broadcast in Sydney, Brisbane, Canberra, and our networks at about 9:10, mate.
Thanks an awful lot for having me on.